Well, hello. You join me here. I've got a wee afternoon off. I'm up in Glencoe. I was on Skye for work. So I've got a wee afternoon off and I'm heading up into the Lost Valley in some rather beautiful conditions. So you park just over here, follow the main path until it breaks and comes down towards the vast opening of the Lost Valley up there, crossing this bridge just down here. Easy peasy. Welcome to the Lost Valley. I'll give you a wee 360. That's looking up onto the summit in the mist. That's looking back from the way you come up. So I would highly recommend this if you're just getting into winter walking, even summer mountaineering, and you feel a bit intimidated by going up onto the summits, or maybe your fitness levels aren't quite there yet to go up onto these bigger mountains. I always recommend the Lost Valley, or the Hidden Valley if you want the correct term, but Lost Valley has a more romantic ring to it. So I always recommend the Lost Valley as just one of those stunning places to come if you just want to get out, enjoy the grandeur of these big mountains, but you're only ever 45 minutes from the car. Even on a winter's day like today, it's quite an easy path to follow. You can't get lost, you know, you're on the path, you come up here, you go back down again. Obviously if you want to branch out up onto the bigger mountains ahead there, away up onto Bidean, which is in the cloud up the back there, there's normally some towering cliffs up there, but you can't see them. Obviously if you want to branch out onto those bigger mountains, that's a whole different barrel of badgers. I wouldn't advise doing that until you're a bit more experienced, but the Lost Valley here, beautiful spot just to come for a winter hill walk, a summer camp, a spring walk with the kids. It's just a glorious, grand, beautiful place to come, where you get the feel of being in the big mountains without actually having to go up onto the tops where it can be a bit wilder. For anyone interested in summiting Bidean and Bian, which I would highly recommend because it's one of the nicest mountains in Scotland to summit in terms of the views and things. Looks amazing looking out west. Looking back across Rannochmoor is pretty beautiful too. It's an epic place for sunset and sunrise, so if you ever want a summit camp on Bidean, highly recommended. But if you just want to summit Bidean in the winter or in the summer, I would actually recommend coming up via the Lost Valley, because it sort of leads you in nice and gently. You slowly gain height, setting about 500 metres here. The Corrie Bowl up ahead sits about 700 metres. The ridge up top there about 900, Bidean's 1150, so it's a nice gradual height gain, never feels too strenuous. There's a wee push up from 700 to 900 that's pretty steep, but that's the only kind of real sort of steep ascent. So if you ever want to summit Bidean, this for me is the best way up the mountain. Well, it's probably the first time I've ever had a hole so deep it could actually swallow me up to the chest. I just put my leg in there. I'm making my way up this random steep snow slope because I decided just to make a beeline from the path below straight up here and on up to the ridge above. The avalanche forecast is considerable for east-facing slopes, and this is very much an east-facing slope, so I'm having to be very careful about exactly where I go, what the run-out's like behind me, what the snowpack is doing underfoot. You can see why the avalanche forecast is considerable. The top foot or so of snow is just this unbonded, useless polystyrene ball-like substance. It's not bonded in any way to the firmer snowpack underneath. You can see why the avalanche forecast is saying it considerable. Thankfully, I'm on relatively easy angle terrain. I'm nearly at the top of the ridge now. Decided to have a wee play about on these last few steep rocky sections. Looks like there might be just some fun wee mini gully action going up through these last bunch of rocks. Pretty close to the top now. Me on the ridge that links Gairanach to Corrian Lochin. I think I'm just going to pop straight down here, gain the walker's path, hike on out back to the car. There's nothing to be gained from being up here when it's as wild as this. There are the climbing cliffs of Stob Corrian Lochin.